Live from downtown Detroit. Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
A Detroit man comes home from the hospital to find this: water heater gone, furnace gone. So now what?
Also, they were just closing up for the night. 3 Coney Island workers robbed at gunpoint. The owner says one of the crooks knew exactly what to do.
And the rain is moving out, so are these chilly temperatures on the way out too? The local forecasters tracking some big changes heading into the weekend. But we begin Local 4 News at 5 with something no one should ever have to go through. That's what Mel Peters is facing. He was in the hospital recovering from a stroke. When he was well enough to come home, take a look at what he found. His home ransacked. Thieves stole his furnace, even his water heater. Our Lauren Podell spoke to Mr. Peters as he's now forced to focus on much more than just his health.
He suffered a stroke, has a 3-year-old daughter to raise, and now one Detroit man is living like this. After someone busted through his side door, now he's trying to keep them out. So, what did they steal? There's a reason I have my coat on. Bundled up under a blanket, a heater by the door. This is the only way 55-year-old Mel Peters has been able to stay warm in his own house since Tuesday.
Put more clothes on, covered up with blankets. You feel how cold it is in here.
The reason? His furnace stolen right out of his basement from his home near Grand River and Finkel. And whoever did it decided to rip off the water heater too.
Stole the heater out of the house, stole the water heater, electrical ripped down.
Thankfully, Mel wasn't home when someone busted his side door in on either Sunday or Monday. The same 24-hour span that Mel was in the hospital after suffering a stroke, one he's still recovering from.
My left side's really weak. I have a hard time walking, hard time talking now too.
Mel is also raising a 3-year-old daughter, Kaylee Sue, but without heat, she's staying with her uncle in Battle Creek. As for his neighborhood, scrapping from homes is something Mel has seen before.
Go inside the house and steal the kitchen sink, steal the bathtub, steal the stove, the refrigerators. And
from the vacant homes?
Yeah, from the vacant homes.
Vacant homes, not ones with families inside of them. And while Mel is trying to figure out how to get the heat and water back on, he's hoping to get Detroit police back inside of his home. He says there's fingerprints on the wall that he wants looked at to try and hopefully get whoever did this off the streets for good. Reporting from Detroit, Lauren Podell, Local 4.
And there was more. Mel says several pots and pans were stolen from his kitchen. In fact, food was even stolen from the freezer. Detroit police tell Local 4 evidence has been recovered now from the home. But if you'd like to help out Mel, we've put the information on our website. Just head to clickondetroit.com. It's just horrible that somebody would do that. All right, now to brand new information into a deadly hit and run in Waterford Township. The sister of the man killed last night is sharing her heartbreak to Local 4. John Hinkey was hit and killed at the intersection of Preston and Elizabeth Lake Road. Police say the driver then torched his van in a pretty poor attempt to cover up the crime. In fact, that's what remains. Sean Lay is live tonight. And Sean, have there been any charges filed yet that you know of?
Police here telling me they've asked for charges, and those charges could be coming as early as tomorrow. Look, Mr. Hinkey, 65 years old, lived over here in these apartments. He's trying to cross Elizabeth Lake Road, all of these lanes here. He is hit and killed. That is absolutely devastating to his family here in Waterford. But what that driver did next is absolutely shocking to this family.
I mean, how can you just drive away? I don't understand.
Karen Hankey had Waterford police officers at her door around 4 this morning. She was in her brother's cell phone under ice in case of emergency, and this was one. Her brother, John Hankey, was hit and killed crossing from his apartment on Elizabeth Lake Road just before 8:30 last night. The driver that hit her 65-year-old brother did not stop.
Yes, he was a very likable guy who would do anything for anybody.
But there's more. Police and fire crews were called to a remote parking lot where they found this van on fire. Police quickly linking it to the 36-year-old driver that police believe hit John Hankey.
They backtracked through the registered owner, which led to the driver, which led to the arrest of the driver.
Karen Hankey has tears in her eyes dealing with the loss of her brother and dealing with the fact that the person responsible tried to cover it up and tried to get away with it.
But
how angry are you at this driver?
Very, very. But I was happy to hear that they had someone.
Back here live already, a memorial for John Hankey right outside his apartment here at the road here, Elizabeth Lake starting to pop up here. I can tell you, this guy was loved by his big family all over this area. He was a drummer for local bands, so he was really well known as well, and an artist. Started living here a few years ago, and tragedy striking last night. A couple of the charges that police are asking for, at least right now, vehicular homicide and arson. Those are just the starters here. Devin and Kimberly, back to you.
Now, Sean, just taking a look behind you, there doesn't appear to be a crosswalk there. Should there be one?
This is a big deal. When you look at this, here is a building, Kimberly, for seniors. There is a shop, a party store across the street. You can watch here all day long, people with walkers, wheelchairs, grocery carts trying to make it across here. So there had been accidents before. And so this is a situation where now the victim's family, John's family, is saying they'd like the township to take a look at this. It is lit. You do have some new lights here, but at least to slow cars down or do something about the seniors and trying to reach the party store here. They like to pick up some things and then head back home. Watching this is something else. You just cringe.
It's dangerous. It's very dangerous. Okay, Sean, thank you.
3 people charged in the killing of a 13-year-old Detroit boy have now pleaded guilty.
Deontay Mitchell was kidnapped at gunpoint back on May 31st outside a store on Detroit's east side. The kidnapping set off an Amber Alert that ended nearly 2 days later when the boy's body was found in a field. The man caught on camera kidnapping Deontay, Gregory Walker, pleaded guilty Wednesday to second-degree murder. His 2 alleged helpers, Lillian Roberts and Ernest Coleman, also pleaded guilty. The trio will be sentenced November 9th.
Now to some pretty startling results of an independent audit requested by the Detroit Land Bank. That audit, released today, shows the city's demolition program misspent nearly $1 million in federal money. Things like poor oversight, lax controls, and what may be a deliberate attempt to violate federal rules, all highlighted in this report. Guy Gordon's been studying for it. Let's start with how many demolitions this involves, Guy.
Well, this looked at a 9-month period beginning in June of 2015, Devin. We're talking about a period where there were 8,000 demolitions, but within that, 100 demolitions were federal money used, and it was inappropriately spent. Now, we know that the mayor admitted that there were mistakes made last week. Now we know how, but even some of the heads of the demolition program can't explain why. There is a $25,000 federal cost cap on every home demolished. This audit found that in 100 cases, the federal government was still billed more than $824,000, even though costs exceeded the cap.
And therefore, the money above $25,000 was not, should not have been paid for out of HHF, should have been paid for by the city, and instead was redistributed over other homes in the same packet.
In the most embarrassing case, one home, just one, was contracted for demolition at a cost exceeding $264,000, nearly 20 times the average. Those overages were hidden by distributing the costs on paper to 350 other homes. They think it might be a tabulation error, but can't say for sure. It wasn't flagged by the contractor and was still approved by someone inside the land bank. So was this a deliberate attempt to mislead and bilk the federal government?
If I could answer that question, I would sleep better at night. I don't understand. I don't understand how anyone could have authorized it, and yet it appears they did.
Why are we spending over $25,000 to demolish one residential property?
DLB officials promised council it has put new controls, procedures, and oversight in place.
We are going to be incredibly watchful over how those programs get implemented.
Now, Ward Gerson did say that appropriate actions were taken against the personnel that were responsible, but she wouldn't say how many or whom. We have learned that the Deputy Building Authority Director, gentleman by the name of Jim Wright, resigned abruptly in mid-August, and we have solid information from a good source that that was connected to these mistakes. And now we do know as well that the U.S. Treasury and MSHDA are still investigating. It is a broad investigation. And Ward Gerson said she's actually happy about that because she's hoping that they will get to the bottom of whether or not this was intentional. We're live from Detroit's West Side. I'm Guy Gordon, Local 4. Devin, back to you.
Well, which leads us to getting on to about the business of making sure it doesn't happen again and creating, I guess, new safeguards, Guy.
That's right. And part of getting new money released, and they did release another $42 million in federal funding to the demolition program, so it was given their blessing. They have to put 2 MSHDA people inside the land bank. There have to be routine audits. And now, instead of just a staffer approving each one of these houses for demolition, there's going to be 3 people at the director level on a team that will make that determination, so that we don't have a house built at $264,000. They call it a tabulation error, but it defies understanding.
It sure does. It's a stunner. All right, Guy. Well, like all this rain, looks like things are starting to finally dry out a little bit. That's fine.
And Andrew's in for Ben tonight, and Andrew's going to get warmer too, so that's good.
Kimberly and Devin, you're absolutely right. Some higher temperatures over the next couple of days, but we're still dealing with chilly conditions. The storm that brought rain earlier this morning and yesterday, even some wet snow yesterday and some sleet. That was terrible, wasn't it? Well, it's moving away. Now, we still have some leftover sprinkles and areas of drizzle. You can see that here out toward Novi, the Wixom area, portions of Livingston County, into Oakland County as well, especially around Pontiac and westward for our western zones west of 275 and areas north of Hall Road, our northern zone. Temperatures in the chilly 40s right now, so grab your jackets. So only a little wet as we go through these last couple of hours of rush hour, and then drier overnight. Sunnier tomorrow. That means higher temperatures. But how warm for Friday and this weekend? We'll talk about that in your full weather forecast in just a few minutes.
Okay, Andrew. Tonight, families in Southfield are under a boil water advisory following a water main break.
Break happened this afternoon at Telegraph and Civic Center Drive, and crews are now trying to repair the water main. So families may experience low water pressure. They may see discolored water. They may have no water at all. We'll let you know when the advisory is lifted, both here on the air and on clickondetroit.com. It is the college sex assault case that left even the most seasoned investigators just stunned.
New tonight, the shocking case unfolding tonight at the University of Wisconsin, and the one warning sign that may have been missed.
Also, parents in Ann Arbor say it's just not safe and things need to change right now. Why things quickly became so heated over this intersection at last night's school board meeting. Jason?
A robbery at closing time.
So I just opened up the door and came on out on him just like this. And he was like, give it to me. And I just reached in my pocket and gave it to him.
And you won't believe where he saw one of the gunmen just one day before the robbery.
Tonight, new at 6.
A driver arrested after leading police on a dangerous chase through a busy neighborhood. New at 6, why the driver thanked police after he was handcuffed.
This week, more pets will be taken to the vet's office than any other week of the year. New tonight, the dangers pet owners need to understand.
Workers at this Coney Island on Detroit's west side had no idea what they were in for as they closed for the night. One minute they were heading home, the next in their faces. Our Jason Colthorpe talked with the owner and found out at least one of those gunmen knew the place in and out.
Yusuf Millender's had his restaurant here on Detroit's west side for 6 years, and clearly there's been some trouble. But the trouble that came knocking last night came right to the back door.
This is a very bad area over here.
It was an hour after closing, midnight, and 3 employees were leaving when 4 men with guns rolled up on them.
I guess they ended up making them get out the car and lay on the ground right here. So.
And then they robbed
them. They took their cell phones and their money.
But that wasn't good enough, so they forced one employee to knock on the back door, and Millenden opened it.
Walked out on them like this. You know what I'm saying? And I could see my employee standing to the side like this, and he just said, you know, they use the cuss words. Give me the, and I just went right in my pocket and just gave it right to him. Right when I did like that, I pushed him back like this, and I slammed the door. He locked and did like this.
Surveillance video on a neighboring business was too dark to help out. However, what was clear as day was the getaway vehicle, a Burgundy Trailblazer, and also one of the robbers. He was a regular.
Even though he had the hoodie on, he had a distinct look. When I looked right in his face, I can tell who he was. And he came here the night before this happened.
The man made off with $1,800 from Millenden and another couple hundred from the employees. From now on, though, they'll all be extra careful at closing.
Yeah, I'm not trying to fight no bullets, and I ain't trying to die for no money. You know what I'm saying? But my instinct briefly tried to keep them out the building. I just really like for them guys to be off the street. And I'm thankful that none of them pulled the trigger.
Yeah, boy, too often we see things like this go the wrong way in situations like this. A little more on the getaway car now. One of the victims thought it also could have been a burgundy Jeep Liberty, something to keep an ear out for. And as for the guy the owner recognized, he's hoping the neighborhood does a little bit of talking here because police don't have much to go on, and he thinks he could be local because, like we said, he had seen him in his restaurant before. Reporting live, Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
Well, Jason, did the guy ever maybe use a credit card and maybe he can get his name that way?
Good question. I mean, I asked that to him as well, and he wasn't sure. Pretty sure he didn't use credit cards and wasn't even quite sure how he would go back and check. But he said a couple of things. He will know him the next time he sees him if he comes back, because he said this guy had come into the restaurant so many times, was in his early 20s, and that's why he's hoping somebody sees this who lives in that area and just speaks up.
Yep.
Kim?
Hopefully so. Okay, Jason, thank you. It's not quite Halloween yet, but it's never too early to start thinking about Christmas.
Spoken like someone from Frankenmuth. Never too early? All right, well, maybe not. Take a live look at Campus Martius. The 2016 downtown Detroit Christmas tree is coming next week. So we actually are getting past Halloween first. It'll be here on Wednesday. It's a 5-ton tree, more than 60 feet tall. And of course, when it gets here, they'll elevate it up onto the Woodward Fountain. And it's become a classic
It is
sight.
going to be beautiful, yes.
Well, we talked about wet snow yesterday. So why not the Christmas tree?
Yeah, I know.
Right?
We're getting there, aren't we? Yeah.
It certainly feels raw out there. I mean, we have chilly conditions, not as wet as it was earlier this morning, but we still have a few sprinkles to get through before the evening is over. You can see that here barely on 4 Live radar. So here, let me take you in a little bit closer. Here's a look at Oakland County, parts of Livingston County, along 96. Some of the ramps, overpasses, yeah, a little bit wet. You see spritz and sprinkles that are out there here, shaded in green from Brighton to Whitmore Lake, also to the Novi area, and just north of there for Commerce Township, places like White Lake as well. But all this will be ending very slowly over the next few hours. We're looking at 47 degrees, and yeah, it feels colder out there when you factor in these winds at 10 miles per hour. Feels like low 40s depending where you are, or even a bit colder. And it actually is in the low 40s in some places. Our north zone, Port Huron at 41 degrees, 46 for our friends in Ann Arbor, 47 in Monroe. All these temps much lower than average. And yes, it is that kind of day where we're talking about wind chills. You factor in that wind, it feels like the 30s. Maybe not down to freezing, but grab those jackets and coats. Feels like 37 if your skin's not protected over in Pontiac. Now here is some good news for you. Take a look at this. These areas of green and yellow you see here, higher temps, milder, warmer air set for tomorrow, but especially on Saturday. 62 right now for our friends in Des Moines. But we have another chilly to cold night ahead with actual temperatures dipping into the middle and low 30s. High pressure mainly in control for tomorrow, so we'll see a fair amount of sunshine tomorrow afternoon, and milder air starts to move in. 50s tomorrow, you still need your jackets for that, but 60s as we go into Saturday. How about that? We're looking at 43 degrees overnight. That's the temperature here in town. Low 40s and up and middle 30s for the most part in many suburbs. I think we'll actually see temperatures dip into the 30s even here in town by tomorrow morning. So that 43 degree mark mainly just before midnight. Then 46 degrees at noon tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies in the afternoon. A high of 55 degrees by 4 p.m. That certainly feels a bit better. Sunrise is at 8:02. This is much better. As we go into Saturday, even warmer, highs around 66 to 69 degrees. Warm conditions also in East Lansing from Michigan State. Big football game on Saturday. Then a little bit cooler, but fall-like as we go into Sunday. Some beautiful colors to admire, and things are looking good on Halloween. 61 for a high during the day when the kids get out and about early just before sunset, and so far dry conditions for all the trick-or-treaters as they make their way about on Monday evening. And then temps in the 50s and 60s middle of next week.
And that's more like average, right? More average?
That's right, closer to average for this time of year, but way above average on Saturday.
On Saturday,
so the first half of the weekend looking warm and beautiful.
Yeah, that's good. All right, Andrew, thank you. With winter on its way, MDOT has a new tool to help clear the roads. What makes this truck so different? We'll tell you what that is coming up.
It keeps it from snowing? Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yeah. But first, a string of rapes shocking a college campus, and police found an item that has them thinking that this man carefully plotted the attacks. It's next.
Today it was a courtroom, not a classroom, for University of Wisconsin junior Alec Cook.
This after the list of charges he faces, accused of sexually assaulting fellow female students, has now grown to 15. Prosecutors say there actually could be more. In the week since his arrest, after a woman said Cook strangled and repeatedly raped her at his apartment in Madison, other female students have come forward claiming Cook assaulted them too, including one from last February.
He saw him in news coverage and thought back to what he did to her and how inappropriate it was, and felt compelled to come forward.
Cook's attorneys deny the allegations. Investigators say, though, that they found a journal by Cook's bed, and in it they say he wrote details of the assaults that he planned on women. Bad news today for one of the big three. After reports of a major drop in third quarter earnings, Ford announced today its third quarter earnings fell to $957 million. Yes, that's almost $1 billion, but it's a 56% drop from last year's third quarter. Ford says the drop was driven by the cost of recalls, reduced dealer stock, and also production changes that turned out to be costly. It'll be a place for families in Rochester to come shop and support Michigan farmers even in the dead of winter.
This concept's a little bit different. This year, downtown Rochester will host its very own winter farmers market. The market will open in November and run through January. It'll be open every Saturday except holidays from 10 to 2. It'll be inside the Rochester Fire Department on 2nd Street.
New at 5:30.
A pastor with a controversial plan to put local police officers in the same room with angry residents to talk about racial bias.
We cannot heal unless we're willing to be honest and not defensive.
The results? Fireworks, real raw emotions that put many on edge, and lands one police officer in an internal investigation.
A big turnout for early voting here in Prince George's County, Maryland, on a day in the race for the White House where there were revelations that could suppress turnout in both parties.
A disturbing discovery in this vacant lot here in Warren this morning. And if this ends up being another heroin overdose, the mayor here says more people are overdosing than being killed in car accidents. Much more on this coming up on Local 4.
It's dinner time. Live from downtown Detroit. Local 4 News at 5:30 starts now.
A body found in the middle of this field, but it's not connected to any crime. Now, this one incident is spotlighting a growing problem all across Metro Detroit. Police believe the person who died in that empty field overdosed.
And we are hearing calls like this come across the scanners in our newsroom more and more frequently than ever. Sean Lay shows us how this growing problem quickly needs to be tackled.
There's Ryan Road, 14 miles just ahead. The man's body found in this vacant lot. The mayor of Warren saying if this ends up being another heroin overdose, he says more people are overdosing in Warren than being killed in car accidents.
It was a disturbing discovery in an unlikely setting. The body of a young man right by businesses on Ryan Road and a neighborhood. He was young and the body looked like it had been there all night. James Villette rushed to the empty lot. He's been looking for his friend for days.
He's using heroin. He's a known heroin user. And I dropped him off Saturday to a girl's house, and I haven't heard from him since.
Turns out the body wasn't his friend. That's how prevalent these cases are. Families of heroin users have been calling police all day in Warren, asking if it was their son who was found. The body found this morning belonged to a 23-year-old from Sterling Heights. He had been seen at 10 last night at a McDonald's stumbling around. Police were called, but the young man left. This morning, his body was found, just wearing sweats, out all night in cold temperatures. The medical examiner will have to make the final call on what killed the young man, the elements or drugs. But the city of Warren now reporting 15 heroin overdoses so far this year, and that's a record. There were 7 last year, 9 the year before. Deaths from opiate overdoses have overtaken car accidents as the leading cause of death in Warren. And Warren's mayor says much more needs to be done.
Back here live. In fact, Mayor Jim Fouts in Warren says Warren police teams have gone into Detroit to raid heroin houses in very recent times here. But he says a much more coordinated regional effort must be done to get a handle on this. And as I say, Warren police have been getting calls all day long, very sad, from parents asking if that was their son in that vacant lot today. Very sad indeed, wondering where their son is right now. We are live tonight. Sean Lay, Local 4.
And a story we're seeing play out in city after city across the country. All right, Sean.
New calls now for safer crosswalks near schools in Ann Arbor after a 16-year-old student died this week after being hit by a vehicle near Huron High School. It is concerned parents making the demands. They're asking Ann Arbor Public School District to take action to make crosswalkers safer. But the district's only option is to ask the city to make the change, which hasn't led to progress in the past. This all comes as the number of crashes involving pedestrians and drivers are reportedly up in the city.
Now to Decision 2016. Let's take a look at live pictures from Toledo, where Donald Trump is holding a rally right now at the Seagate Convention Center downtown. Ohio, of course, still critical. Both candidates took hits today. Donald Trump was hurt by a top aide, admitting efforts to keep African-American voter turnout low. And Clinton hurt by a leaked email that detailed the way that her husband made millions of dollars. Steve Handelsman explains as more Americans are now casting their ballots. Steve?
Hey, Devin, thanks. Look at all these voters. This is the first day of early balloting in Prince George's County, Maryland. In a race for the White House that's so negative but so close, experts predict whichever candidate gets the highest percentage of his or her voters to turn out will win. Day one meant lines for early voting in Maryland, a blue state. Clinton voters motivated.
We are all, working together to bring in the first woman president.
In battleground states where more Democrats are early voting, a Republican majority in just 3, Donald Trump needs Clinton supporters to stay home. A senior aide admitted to Bloomberg black and white liberals are being targeted, reminded of offensive things the Clintons have said and done through Trump ads.
He's given up on winning the votes of African Americans, young women. So he's not trying to bring them over to his side. He's trying to give them a reason not to vote at all.
Damaging the Clinton image today is a WikiLeaks memo about, quote, Bill Clinton Incorporated, how he got rich by interconnecting his for-profit and charity work while she was Secretary of State. Donald Trump pouncing today in Ohio.
Just imagine what they'll do given the chance to once again control the Oval Office. And we've had enough, honestly. I think we've had enough of the Clintons, in all fairness.
Michelle Obama campaigned with Hillary Clinton in North Carolina.
She is absolutely ready to be commander-in-chief on day one, and yes, she happens to be a woman.
I believe everything we care about is at stake in this election. So you've got to vote.
A good sign for Clinton. More Democrats are turning out early in North Carolina. Nationally, today's new CNBC poll gives Clinton a 9-point lead over Trump. From early voting in Prince George's County, Maryland, Steve Handelsman, Local 4.
Okay, Steve. By the way, the focus comes back to Michigan here soon. Cher will be in the Metro Detroit area on Halloween, on Monday, to campaign for Hillary Clinton. Sunday, Clinton's running mate, Senator Tim Kaine, will be in Warren. We are getting our first look at damage after 2 earthquakes hit central Italy.
An area still reeling from an earthquake that killed hundreds just months ago. However, unlike the August quake, initial reports indicate there have been no deaths or serious injuries. Today, officials began assessing the damage. Mayors of towns scattered in the mountain region say many homes are uninhabitable. It looks like Samsung lost a ton of money due to their exploding Galaxy Note 7 phones. The South Korean electronics giant said that the debacle virtually wiped out profits at its high-profile mobile communications division during the third quarter. The division posted an operating profit of $87.9 million. By contrast, a year ago, the division posted a profit of about $2.1 billion. It is MDOT's latest tool in snow removal, and we're getting our first look at it today.
It's a tow plow, is what they call it. It'll help crews plowing snow in one truck do the work of 2 trucks, actually. The tow plow is hooked up to the back of the traditional plow, and it can angle into the next lane, allowing one truck to work faster and actually clear 2 lanes at once. MDOT crews want drivers to be cautious, though, when they see it on the road.
We need the public to be aware. It's a very big machine, and it's going to be new, so people are not going to really know what's going on. We want to get it out to the public, so they can be aware of what's going on and everyone can be safe.
Yeah, MDOT warns people not to crowd the plow when they see it on the roads. It's the first of its kind to be used here in Metro Detroit. it'll take some learning, a little learning curve.
Yeah, definitely.
She's a Paralympic athlete, a real feat in itself, but now she is on to a different challenge.
In this week's Heart of Detroit, Mitch Albom introduces us to Cheryl Angelelli and shows us how a wheelchair shouldn't keep anyone from being able to dance.
Bright lights, fancy costumes, choreographed dance routines, all part of a dancer's life that Cheryl Angelelli is living today. But it was an accident as a teen that changed her body and her spirit forever.
When I was 14 years old, I walked into swim practice one night and I never walked out, but I ended up hitting my head at the bottom of the pool, and in a split second, I became a quadriplegic. The doctors painted a very bleak picture of what my life was going to be like. In other words, my life was never going to be ordinary again, but instead my life has been extraordinary.
This extraordinary life includes being a member of the U.S. Paralympic swim team, where she was ranked one of the top 5 swimmers in the world.
As a Paralympic swimmer, we would go to Europe and I would see wheelchair ballroom dancing, and it was so beautiful and amazing to watch. And I said to my teammates, when I quit swimming, I would love to do this.
So she did. After seeing an advertisement for a dance program for people in wheelchairs, Cheryl began dancing at Fred Astaire Dance Studios in Bloomfield Hills.
Were you the first student signed up?
I was the first and the only one.
Shortly after she started dancing, Cheryl and studio owner Evan Mountain wanted to open the program to a larger audience. So they created Dance Mobility, a free program for people in wheelchairs and amputees. Each student learns to waltz, cha-cha, and do other classic ballroom dances.
It's just been a really rewarding experience. I knew that I would love dancing, but I'm having so much fun being able to teach it and share my joy of dancing with other people now.
Proving that with a little competitive spirit, anything is possible, Cheryl Angelelli is dancing her way to a fulfilling life right here in the heart of Detroit.
Wow, isn't that something? Music just makes us want to move, I think.
know.
No matter what.
And she took her story and then opened it up to all these other people that really are enjoying, so it's great.
Great piece, Mitch. Former Tigers ace pitcher Max Scherzer's in a pretty public marital spat with his wife, though it perhaps isn't what you think.
It is a talk about story. New tonight, what his wife threw in the trash that got him so angry, and the hilarious way he got back at her.
Also a wild ride, all as this dash camera was rolling. Ahead at 5:30, what this video captured that has a tow truck driver in some big trouble. Kevin?
A pastor with a controversial plan to put local police officers in the same room with angry residents to talk about racial bias.
We cannot heal unless we're willing to be honest and not defensive.
The results? Fireworks.
I know how to stop white policemen from killing black men and boys.
And lands one police officer in an internal investigation.
Watch Wheel. New at 6.
It's one of the most frustrating parts of the travel process, the long line to get your identity verified. But what if you could jump to the front of that line? We'll tell you about a new service introduced today at Metro that does just that.
All right, Guy, also new video shows a thief breaking into a safe at Eastern Market. We'll tell you why investigators believe it wasn't the first time he's been there. That's coming up at 6.
Now to our Defenders special series, True Blue, spotlighting what life is really like for the Metro Detroit police officers sworn to serve and protect us.
A local pastor is doing what many thought couldn't happen, putting officers and angry residents in the same room, encouraging both sides to talk through their differences. Defender Kevin Dietz following this story today. Simple idea, but such a complex issue, Kevin.
Yeah, it really is. And those in attendance were not holding back, some saying shocking statements that made many in law enforcement cringe. Bishop Hugh Daniel Smith wanted police to hear directly from those so passionate and angry about police shootings of unarmed African Americans. So he invited police chiefs and pastors, cops and citizens to his church for a no-holds-barred debate about police bias, intended or unintended, against African Americans.
There's a dis-ease in our community, and we cannot heal unless we're willing to be honest and not defensive.
Stories quickly emerging about young black men getting pulled over, arrested, even shot. Police explaining how they train, new diversity efforts, and their own concern for safety. It wasn't always pleasant, and it peaked with Dr. M. Tyrone Cushman of United Ministries International.
I know how to stop white policemen from killing black men and boys.
explaining how he once told his congregation he had a plan that would stop racist cops.
For every black young man that is unarmed and is killed by a white policeman, we will kill 2 white policemen.
He acknowledged it's not something law enforcement and the community want to hear, and he's not telling anyone to go out and do it, just that it would work.
I guarantee you it won't happen anymore.
When citizens asked how they should act when pulled over by police, an officer representing the Michigan State Police shocked the crowd again.
It's not so much that your hands are on the steering wheel, but I do want to see your hands. When I'm coming up to a car, if the first thing that I'm met with is attitude is what you get at.
Saying the MSP Patrol Stop Procedure Book goes out the window. You will get exactly what you give her.
I always said, if I'm on a traffic stop and somebody can make me laugh, I can't write you a ticket. But if you're rude, expect rudeness back.
Her comments that the Michigan State Police lack minorities and fail to give sufficient training for white officers working in black communities gave many in the room cause for concern.
They're qualified to make those split-second decisions on whether a man is pulling his wallet or is he going for a gun, and the outcome has been tragic.
The bishop saying that's the purpose of these controversial meetings, to find and fix weaknesses in law enforcement before an incident takes place. And the bishop says he's going to continue holding these meetings. In fact, there's a town hall meeting this Saturday, and he wants a packed auditorium to get as many voices as possible heard on this very controversial issue. We put a link for information, times, and directions to the town hall meeting on our Defenders page at clickondetroit.com. Kevin Dietz, Defenders.
Kevin, we heard a couple of jaw droppers there. It was really surprising to hear that police officer speaking so freely, but I understand she's now undergoing an internal investigation.
Yeah, we're going to get into that tonight at 11, Devin. She says some very controversial things, and her bosses at the Michigan State Police say they definitely do not agree with what she had to say, but they're investigating her not for what she said, but because she was speaking without permission to represent the agency at that event.
All right, Kevin, more coming up tonight at 11.
Former Detroit Tiger Max Scherzer took extra exception when his wife started cleaning the house yesterday. Check this out.
Scherzer tweeted out this picture after his wife was cleaning the house and threw out, I guess we'll call it that dirty jersey. Well, it happened to be the one that he was wearing when he threw his second no-hitter.
Oh, no.
Scherzer decided to get back at her. He tweeted out this picture of one of her purses in the trash with the hashtag #JustDoingHouseChores.
I mean, if he didn't catch it.